All right, guys and gals, it's been a busy day getting everybody ready and getting the facilities set up for the ice storm that is expected to come, as well as the extreme cold temperatures. I think they're talking about like a -20, -30 wind chill factor. Our digits went from 0 degrees Friday night to now -7 on the actual temperature. So we're just going to go over some things that we do on our homestead to keep our animals safe during those kind of temperatures. First and foremost, I just want to go ahead and say this now. This is what we do. This has worked for us. You can do whatever you want to do on your homestead and whatever gives you peace of mind and makes you feel comfortable and takes care of your animals. Okay? Now, also, we are very much homesteaders slash farmers slash ranchers in our mentality. We treat our animals like they're pets and we love them, but we are not pet owners per se. So a lot of people go above and beyond and do a lot of silly things that are not necessary for livestock. If you want to do that, that's fine. I'm sure your livestock appreciates it. Tippy, our kitty sow, was bumping the camera. I'm sure your livestock appreciate it, but it's not necessary. We went through all of our chicken coops. Our pigs are rooting against the camera.
No, let me tell you what I did the last time we had a crazy snow and whatnot. We did not have pigs and goats. It was just, I think we were just on chickens at that point. I got up, it was probably 11:30 and the snow was coming down, and we had chickens roosting on our stairs up to our extra room above the garage. I came out and brought every single chicken, turkey, off of that stoop, brought them in here to get them out of the elements, and no sooner that I turned around and was walking through the house did they all come back out.
She spent almost an hour and a half out in the cold.
I was cussing them and said, y'all can just get frostbite. I don't care at this point.
But none did.
No, none did.
So that's why I say we love our animals. We treat our animals well. We take good care of our animals. We provide for them, but we have learned their livestock, okay? So we went through all of the coops. We put down a thick layer of shavings first, and then on top of the shavings we put down a thick layer of straw or hay, or a combination of both. That gives them insulation, that gives them something dry to be in. Those are the key things that you need to consider when you're looking at a structure for your animals. You do not need to provide supplemental heat. What you need to do is make sure that your animals have somewhere dry first and foremost. Secondly, you want to go with draft free. Now you need to keep in mind you don't want to have no ventilation. They need ventilation, because if there is no ventilation, you run a risk of getting pneumonia in your animals, believe it or not. So you have your animals pinned up in a tight, non-ventilated area, thinking that you're doing good for them and you're going to keep them warm. But what happens when they're breathing? We've all been outside in the cold weather. You can see your breath. That's the moisture in your breath reacting to the cold. That moisture has nowhere to go if there's no ventilation. So now you've got a humid environment in the cold that is full of warm, moist air from all the breath. That's going to be a bad situation, and that's not what you want to do, guys and gals. You really got to just stick to the basics. Make sure they have dry, thick bedding to burrow down in. Years ago, we had a vet tell us we thought we were doing great things. We were filling our dog houses with cedar chips, and cedar chips are awesome as far as keeping pests away and whatnot, and they absorb moisture. But there's nothing for the dog to burrow down in, and it was like an aha moment. I was like, you know what, that's right. I didn't even think of that. So we do a layer of shavings and then a layer of straw or hay. That gives them something to bed down in, but the layer of shavings underneath wicks any moisture off of them that they may track in or out. Now, like I said, we are going to shut all the animals in the barn Thursday night and not let them back out until Friday morning. We'll come through and we'll scoop any, accidents or whatever they may have. But to be honest with you guys, pigs do not use the bathroom where they have to sleep. So I'm not worried about the pigs. The goats, of course, goats are just silly. They've got no bowel control. They're going to make messes, and we'll get it out of here. The dogs, the same way, the dogs will wait and hold it until the morning until they get let loose. But that's what we're going to do on our homestead. Throughout this video, we've walked around and shown you the different things. Now, our chickens will not be in the barn and our rabbits will not be in the barn, and we will show you how we did there. set up so that you can have an idea of what we did. The only supplemental heat that we have provided for the animals right now is for River and her puppies, and that was because Mama Dreams wanted to move her into the barn. I was very happy with the house she was in. We have had Indy's puppies in there before, and Indy did great, and it was very warm. We've had piglets in there in the middle of winter, and we've gone in there and it's been 78, 80 degrees from the body heat. It was a decent little house, and because it was so small, it held the body heat in really well. But because we moved her to a big open stall that is drafty, we insulated it and we gave her a heat lamp. But later on in the video, I'll talk about the heat lamp. I'll talk about the things that we did for her stall to try to hold some of the heat in. Like I said, it's just how we do it. So if you do it differently, that's fine. It's just whatever works for you and your animals. We're always welcome to hear any kind of suggestions, and feel free to comment. You're such a sweet girl. But that's it for this part of the video, and we'll go through everything and show you what all we did. First thing, we've got to take care of this rabbit colony. Rabbits are pretty daggum hardy, but even with the roof on there, they're talking about 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, -20 wind chill, maybe even up to -30. So we're gonna go ahead and get this bad boy right here fortified for them and get them better situated for what's coming. I'm sorry to interrupt the buffet, folks. I'll give that back to you in just a moment. Get out of here, baby. There we go. All right. Let's get these out of the way. That needs scooped out real quick. That's wet. I'll leave a bunch of wet stuff in here when it's going to be freezing. I just turned to ice. I mean, it's already going to be cold. Be a lot of frozen stuff outside their pen. We don't want frozen stuff in their pen too. That'll just make the inside of the pen like a refrigerator, in addition to the cold weather that's already going on outside. All right. So, until the actual storm hits, I'm only going to put in 2 bales of straw in here. Thursday is supposed to start out with rain, and then that's going to move over into ice and snow. We're not supposed to get a crazy amount of accumulation. I think they said 2 to 4 inches. But what I want to do is I don't want to use all of my straw today, knowing that I'm going to need to add a dry layer. Hey, Cookie. Hey, Cookie girl. What am I doing in this rabbit pen? Now, these rabbits will burrow down in this stuff and stay warm. And actually, I'm just going to stick with the 1 bale. It's spreading and fluffing better than I expected. And then, like I said, Thursday night, once the rain stops and once the snow or whatever is doing its thing, I'll come out here and add 1 more bale in of dry straw for these babies. They seldom go in this house. I'm gonna put a little in there for them. Here's your food bowl back, guys. I'll feed y'all later on. Cookie, Cookie, Cookie. What are you doing, baby? You inspecting me? Am I doing an okay job? We love these black rubber bowls. We don't have electricity all the way out to our rabbit colony. These dudes, they get wet, they freeze. It doesn't hurt them. Flip them over, and the ice comes right out. Got a few more things to do to this rabbit colony to have them ready, but It's getting better.
It sure ain't easy getting everything prepped when these cuties keep coming up wanting some loving. We're trying to get it ready for them before the big storm, and all they want is to be pet. Bama, you're a sweetie girl.
There y'all. The bunnies are good to go. They've got a small windbreak in the front. The wind should not be coming from this direction, but just in case, we've got a small break in the front. The back and the sides are covered, and that side is blocked by the wood. They've got plenty of hides that they can get into. I might add one more hide in here. But other than that, these guys and gals are ready to rock and roll. They're gonna do just fine in the winter storm that's coming. They've got no idea what's coming. To them, it's a beautiful day. They're even out here gnawing on this daggum straw that's gonna keep them warm. These babies ain't got a clue. They just think it's a pretty day. Sun's shining. Bama, what are you doing, girl? Get off that bell. Come on, fatty 2x4. Yeah, you've been eating all that goat feed, you're fat. They ain't got a clue, y'all. Thank God they got good caretakers like us, huh? Hey, buddy. That's Sally, girl. Good girl. On in there, tickle. There we go, bud. We're gonna put 2 bales of straw in here. And later on this evening, my neighbor's borrowing my livestock trailer at the moment. He's got to haul a donkey. So later on this evening, I will bring her 3 more friends that we've been raising for meat. Between the 4 of them in this house, they'll do great. She just lost her husband, her partner for life, Jameson. He actually got to go up to northern Indiana and be on another homestead up there so that he can breed their unregistered coonies for him. And he's doing good. He's all settled in. Dylan's getting, hi pigs. I got the supervisors over here. The coonies are supervising to make sure Dylan puts enough in there for her. Sally, what do you think about the job? Shotgun Sally. Are you going to ignore me? She's got to inspect what he's doing in her house. She's got a windbreak. She's got a portion of it that she can get behind the wall to keep any sideways rain, stinging rain that came straight up from the ground, any of that off of her. Ain't that right, pretty girl? You want to say hi to Sophie? Yeah. Tell my baby. She's a good girl. She's a big girl, but she's a sweetie. We always pay attention to her, though, because she is a big girl. She can knock you over easy if she wants to, or she can hurt somebody if she wanted to, but thankfully she's a really sweet girl. We spend a lot of time with her. You know, if you're going to have a big old pig on your homestead, you want it to be a nice one, especially when they have babies. But I will say, old Sally here was very protective of her babies. It was surprising how protective she was, especially as sweet as she is any other time of the year. That's a good thing, though. We knew the babies weren't going to get hurt, that's for sure. She was going to keep them safe. So my daughter thinks she's a makeup artist. Go on, show them the prank you tried to pull on Daddy. Hurry up so I can tell them about this daggum coop and how we're doing it.
It wiped off.
No, you can still see it. She tried to tell me her sister punched her in the eye. She did a terrible makeup job.
That's something she
Anyhow,
do.
all right, we're going to go through this with y'all real quick. Now, we won't do it tonight. I did one so y'all could see. We use the feed bags as a wind block. Now, we like the coop to be able to breathe during the summertime. So we don't mind the gaps between the boards. But obviously during the winter time, we've got to block that for them. We will at least block the bottom half so that if they get cold, they can drop down. But let's be real, y'all. These chickens would roost in a tree if they weren't cooped up. They wouldn't care if it was icing on them, if it was snowing on them, they would not care. They would roost up in a tree. So what we do is we put a layer of pine shavings down and then a thick layer of straw. My son's going to get some old dirty hay. We're going to throw that in here too. They don't mind. It's just a thick layer for them to get down in, scratch in, whatever they want to do. Something dry for them to be in the cold and the wet. That's the key right there. They've got a roof that it's going to keep them dry. Now, when it comes to coops, a lot of people are under the impression that you need to add a heater to your coop. That is a horrible idea. I understand you think they're outside, they're cold, they need that. That is the furthest thing from the truth. Chickens live in the wild, feral, in many locations throughout the world with nothing but woods, a bush or something to hunker down in. I mean, let's be real, y'all. There's little bitty sparrows and blackbirds flying that sit up in a tree. They're not in a coop. They don't have a heater. What you're going to do is you're actually going to potentially get your birds sick, giving them heat in the middle of winter, because they're going to go from hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold when they go in and out of the coop. That's a no-go. That is not a good idea. So we're getting this coop ready. Tomorrow, all the way around the coop, we will have feed bags stapled up. Those feed bags are a very cheap way to make a windbreak, and they work great. Now, we've got one more little trick Sophalope is going to show y'all with her fake black eye. All right, Sophie. What do we have in that jar?
Red pepper.
Crushed red pepper. Now, if you want to heat your birds up, you can put a little bit of that in their feed. We're not going to put it in their feed today. We're going to save it for tomorrow. Now, we use this sometimes if we want to pump up the egg production. We use this periodically throughout the year because it's good to boost their immune system, but also this will heat them up from the inside out. It's no different than if you or I take a thermogenic or any kind of pepper, you start feeling warm from the inside out, the same as when you drink a big old cup of coffee. So we will put that in their feed, and that will help them out. Dylan brought some more hay. He's going to spread that around in here. But these chickens will be perfectly fine. We're not concerned about the temperature. We're not concerned about anything other than making sure they have a draft-free, dry area. Other than that, they will do a-okay. There's nothing to stress about. Chickens are low on the totem pole of worries. They're not quite like our other furry animals. Just gonna go over a few things that we've done. So we had one, we picked up a second one. We used a cracked gate hanger to shelter the power from the water and the rain and the ice. Got it on a surge protector. Some more water there. Hey baby. Water bowls. Not too concerned about the water bowls. Now, one thing we did is we went ahead and closed off our door for now until the storm is gone. Oh, it's been a long day, y'all. In the barn, we built back up a wall of hay to give them a nice deep insulation to block all the wind off of them. This pen's open and ready to rock and roll. Watch out, babies. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. All right. Watch out, babies. So we went ahead and we moved River into the stall that we made for Tippy. I got the chain way up high, though, so River doesn't knock it down. Her babies are doing fine. They're all cuddled in here. But I wanted to show you guys, and I showed this in the Tippy farrowing stall video, but use a chain when you're hanging these Premier One safety lights. They're a great light. They're very, very safe. I've gone over that in other videos. We're not an advocate for regular heat lamps, but we've got that going on. Mama Dreams has been busting her booty butt helping me since she got off. We went ahead and blocked up the wall to keep the draft off, because this is a very big open stall that we had planned to have Tippy in with her babies, but unfortunately at the moment, Tippy hasn't delivered. So we went back and looked at our dates, and Tippy could potentially have babies all the way through February 7th. And that would be if she was bred the very last day she was with our neighbor's boar. So in this barn, this door will shut and latch. So at night when we put all the babies up, we're gonna shut it, we're gonna shut them in, and they'll be all in the barn. So what we will have in the barn will be a combination of our pigs, our goats, and River, and of course, our 2 other Great Pyrenees. So with the combination of all the body heat from the various animals that'll be in here, we feel pretty confident that they'll be okay. All right, guys and gals, we really hope that that was helpful for you. That's our way of doing it. There's 100 ways to do it. The main thing to do is to just make sure that your animals are okay through this ice storm or any event like this that comes along throughout the winter, and just keep on keeping on. I mean, what else can we do but try our best, right? I hope this was helpful, though. Till next time, y'all, keep dreaming. Hey, guys and gals, one more thing. So I'm editing the video, and I was like, there was something I forgot to tell you. Mama Dreams and I have been doing this for a very long time. Back when we used to breed bullies, this was something that we did for our livestock, and it's something that we do when it gets extremely cold. So we will also make a massive pot of rice. We've got a big quart, 30-quart cooker that we use for water bathing when we're doing canning. So we'll make a massive pot of rice and different scraps, and we will feed that to the animals right before we go to bed as well. That way the animals have a belly full of something warm to get them through the night. I mean, the chickens enjoy it, the pigs enjoy it, the dogs enjoy it, all of them. They all like it, even the goats. Even the silly goats will eat on it. You know, you got to be a little careful with the goats. You can't give the goats too much of stuff, they'll bloat. But that is the last thing we do when there's going to be extreme cold weather like this, is we cook them something nice and hot before bed. And you can throw all your scraps in it. I mean, really the big thing is just a whole bunch of rice, and then whatever scraps you've got. You know, if you've got frozen veggie scraps or anything that you want to toss in there, you can do it. Eggshells, whatever. But the key is they're getting something warm on their belly. They're going to bed full. And that extra feed creates heat. Now, also, during really cold spells like this, we will also provide them more grain. If they're a grain eater, or if they're a dog, more dog food, more food. Essentially, the more food, it's a chemical reaction. Their body's digesting the food, which means it's going to create heat. So that's what we do. Now, if you're giving them more food, you also need to make sure you've got more water available for them. And as you saw in the video, we've got our waters out there that won't freeze. We've got those heated water bowls, and we're pretty excited about those. We use those a couple years now, and they work pretty well. We had to buy another one because one of the dogs chewed the cord off of one that we were using that wasn't plugged in. So that's what we do. Sorry I forgot to put that in the original part of the video, but I didn't want y'all to not know about that step as well.